Hey guys, I want to do another talk about making sure that we are selling the right size the first time. I've mentioned in the past in our Sunday meeting as well as on the WhatsApp that we are having a problem with a higher percentage of customers after installation reaching out and saying that they wish they would have gotten a larger awning. And you guys all know that that is an issue that we aren't going to be able to ignore. The company is really pushing back on the fact that we are essentially using two awnings for one customer. We can't sell that first original awning at retail value anymore, so we are really eating into any profitability that that job could possibly give us. But beyond all that, like I know that we'll get to the point where we don't have to worry about nickel and diming jobs like that. And I really hate any sort of nickel and diming that we ever have to do with the sales team, right? It kills momentum. I really like us to be able to all stay on the same page and on the same team. And that's one of the beauties of our commission structure right now is the goals of the company and the goals of the rep are meeting in the middle in this really great way. You have an opportunity to make nearly $1,000 or more on every job, and the company is getting the margins that they want to see per job. So I know that we're going to be okay there, but the reason that I want to hit it again is because the fact that it's happening so frequently is an indication that we are not doing some things in the 4 steps that we can be doing to avoid it. One of the great things about the 4-step process is the fact that it's not a script, but it is such a foundational pathway to a close that anytime we see something happen in the sale or we see something on the order, we can usually pinpoint what step has been missed or what portion of a step wasn't fully covered or whether or not inventory language is being used. And in this case, when we're talking about the wrong size being sold or a customer changing their mind and wanting a larger size, that tells me that step 2, it has something missing in it. And remember, step 2 is where we are getting the hot button topics from the customer. So we're letting them talk as much as they want to talk. We are getting a location commitment, and then obviously most important to this topic, we are getting a size commitment. You are not moving to step 3 until you know the hot buttons, you have a 100% locked in installation area, and you have a 100% locked in size. And locking in that size is not a conversation. It is an awning expert guiding a customer who doesn't know. So you are not laying out all 4 sizes and asking them which one they like. You are not laying out 2 options and seeing which one they like. You are measuring the deck, telling them the size of the deck, and then saying, hey, based on the size of your deck or patio, this is the size I would recommend. And obviously, the size that you're recommending is always the largest size that the space can fit. And then you're doubling down on that by justifying why you are recommending that size. And this is the first opportunity you have to plant some inventory language. So we're on a 16-foot deck. It can hold a 20-foot. We're going to tell them, hey, you have a 16-foot deck. This is perfect because one of the inventory sizes we have is a 20-foot. Remember, anytime we can use our inventory system, you get locked in with some great upgrade bundles that are included at no cost. We also have some great promotions that are based on our inventory system right now that we can take advantage of. So we're in a perfect situation right here where your 16-foot deck needs a 20-foot awning. 20-foot awning is going to overhang the deck a little bit on each side, and that is ideal. And then you tell them why it's ideal because you are the awning expert. You're going to tell them that overhang on each side is great for when you want to use the awning in the rain because it can help run the water off the deck instead of onto the deck. You're going to tell them that it is doing a 20-foot is going to allow you to uh, balance it out over a line of windows or the door wall and get a very nice, symmetrical, intentional, aesthetically pleasing look on the actual, on the actual home. You're going to tell them that anytime you have a deck or a patio with a slight overhang awning, it's going to make it look like the deck and the awning were built at the same time, and we're keeping the aesthetically pleasing, intentional feeling of this deck or patio intact. You're going to tell them that this is an addition to their home. It's an investment that we are going to do once, so we're going to make sure we do it perfectly. Probably the most important thing you can say as an awning expert is that with a wider awning, you can catch more of the sun at an angle, right? Customers are always thinking that, oh, the shadow is just going to be at high noon, right? And I'm thinking about, okay, if I'm under the awning, I'm in its shadow. And we know, because we're awning experts, that that's not the case, right? You're not covered by the awning only under the awning. And sometimes you're not covered when you're under the awning based on the width of the awning. Customers need to know that. They need to know that you're the awning expert by telling them, hey, remember, the sun is going to come at an angle, and that means this shadow is going to be cast at an angle. And we want to maximize your coverage. And the way to maximize coverage is to have the widest awning possible. And you show them the 20 foot and you say, hey, this awning with the slight overhang is going to make sure that even when the sun's coming at an angle, you're going to get maximum coverage for your deck, right? You're doing all of this and you're not laying out all of the sizes. You are laying out the one size you want to sell. Now, that is not to say that they are going to immediately agree with you. They might say, that seems way too big. Well, yeah, I understand that it's a little larger than the deck, but remember, we want to make sure that we are capturing the sun at any angle. That's why I want to go a little larger. If they push back again, then you say, okay, well, we can still take advantage of our inventory system. Let me show you the 16 foot and then lay out the 16 foot. But that's after an objection. Just like your step 4 close, you're not immediately going to go to a sales discount if you get an objection at the close. You're going to try to justify the price. You're going to try to justify the package that you've built for them. You have to do that same exact thing with the size justification. I mean, essentially, the going to a lower size is the first opportunity where the customer is thinking, I want to save money. So it makes so much sense to take that mentality at the close and apply it to this size, because they're trying to cut a discount for themselves right now. They're not thinking about value, they're thinking about cost. And those are two very different things. So if they do push back on that and say, no, look, I'm the awning expert. I've seen 1,000 awnings on 1,000 homes. I'm telling you the 20 foot is the right option. It's going to look best on your house and it's going to give you maximum coverage. Again, just like the close, if they continue to push back, that's when you pivot to, okay, let me see if there's another size that will work for us where we can still take advantage of our inventory system. Then you do the 16 foot, but you double down on that 16 too. Look, the 16 will work. It is covering your entire deck, but we can't go smaller than this. Like, it just wouldn't make sense for your space. And that's where you draw the red line if you have to pivot down. The other trap that a ton of early reps get caught into is well, let me see the price for both sizes, or it's going to come down to cost. You have to have language to combat that. You have to say, hey, look, remember, this is a do it once, set it and forget it investment in the home. You are going to install this retractable awning one time. It's going to be with your home. It's going to be part of your home. We have set our pricing between sizes to make sure that you are not deciding based on price between sizes, but based on what's perfect for your home. Marygrove's done that, right? We don't want you to decide between a 16 and a 20 based on the cost difference between the two. So we've priced that accordingly so you can make the best decision for your home without worrying about the dollars and cents. If 20 foot is the right option for you, don't worry. I am going to get you there. We're going to take care of each other during this. We've got some great bundles. We've got some great promos because you're using our inventory system. Let's get you the right awning because this is an addition to your living space. And do not fall into the trap of ever making them two quotes for two different sizes, or letting that go to the step 4. If they say, well, I'll get a price for both sizes, or it's going to come down to price, that means you have not gotten a commitment on size during step 2. And you can't leave step 2 without a size commitment. So you have to get that size commitment. So again, we are making sure we are recommending the largest size. We are sticking with that. We are justifying it as the expert that they have invited into their home. And we are not falling into the trap of letting them make the decision based on price or writing them two quotes. And you have language prepared if they try to push that. We have to start doing that. I know those are two really tough things, especially for newer reps, to sort of pretend that you've seen 1,000 awnings, but that's what you have to do. You have to play expert, because that's why they called you. They don't know anything about retractable awnings. They don't know what size they need. That is why they called an expert into their home, and that's you. So you are not having a conversation when decisions are being made. And that's for every decision. Where it's going, what size you should do, what fabric color, what frame color. All of those decisions are you saying you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, because you are the awning expert. And then great news, you get to tie value to every one of those decisions. Hey, remember, we're taking advantage of our inventory system. So if you pick Cafe Gray, I know that I have that exact combination built, and now I can give you the wind sensor. So not only are you the awning expert guiding them, but now you're advocating for them with the company. You're saying, hey, I helped you make this choice, and now I'm giving you something for that choice that we made together. That's powerful, guys. And that's super powerful if you have inventory language sprinkled throughout the entire thing. I want everyone to be thinking about step 2. I want everyone to be thinking about that step 2 needing to have the exact same energy as your close does when you're talking about install location and size location. And that should help us tamp it down. Again, I really, really don't want to have to go job by job and nickel and dime anything. I hate doing that. And honestly, like, I'm not even worried about the ones like, oh, this was mismeasured and it doesn't fit. Like, shit like that's going to happen. We're putting $8,000 awnings on the wall. Like, we're going to have some mismeasures. This is the one we can fix, the one where we are clearly not checking all of the boxes during step 2. This is the one we have total control over, and it's actually us doing our job, right? The mismeasure, like I said, you're going to have that happen. I want you guys to be sales reps and be, be running through these appointments, for lack of a better way of saying it. Like, I understand that the speed in which we go is going to result in some mismeasures. So we're not even talking about those. We're talking about the ones that we can control with this 4-step process. That is so powerful if we do it right. And if we do it right, we should not have these awnings that are too small being swapped back for larger ones. Want everyone to focus on this. I really, really want to protect this team from being bothered by anybody, and this is one of the ways that we can make sure that happens. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and thanks.